The NFL rumor machine never rests. Someone fires off a tweet or leak that sets the football world on fire, only it isn't all that uncommon for it to burn out shortly thereafter. Sometimes it's insiders getting burned by bad sources. Other times it's fans connecting dots that were never even on the same page. Either way, the rumor mill in the NFL never sleeps. It turns good stories into wild fantasies, and then, in some cases, into punchlines. And in 2025, as social media churns faster than ever, it's worth remembering that not every league source deserves your attention. Except for right now, as we now revisit some of the most entertaining tall tales that started huge, spread everywhere, and ended up going nowhere. So let's take a look back into the 10 craziest NFL rumors that were proven to be lies. Condoleezza Rice to the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, I think this is a pretty obvious place to start. The year was 2018, and Cleveland was, being Cleveland. They just fired Hugh Jackson after a humiliating 3-36-1 run that left Browns fans devastated and vulnerable. Then, ESPN dropped a bombshell. The Browns wanted to interview Condoleezza Rice, the former U.S. Secretary of State, for their head coaching job. At the sound of this, the internet lost its mind. Memes, takes, think pieces, it was absolutely everywhere. But like all good rumors, it was built on a kernel of truth. You see, Rice was a lifelong football fan, supporter of the Browns, and member of the College Football Playoff Committee. The leap came when all of a sudden she became the face of the strangest coaching rumor in NFL history. Within hours, General Manager John Dorsey denied it, and Rice issued a statement saying that she wasn't ready to coach. It wasn't until years later that we finally learned how this chaos actually began. Adam Schefter, who is responsible for the initial report, revealed the rumor started inside the Browns building. Someone casually mentioned Rice's name in an internal discussion, trying to smoke out a mole, and wouldn't you know it, it leaked. Apparently, finding out who you can and can't trust is worth the national embarrassment. Andrew Luck unretiring. Ever since he shocked the league by retiring in 2019, just 29 years old, smack in his prime, fans, talk shows, and old Colts teammates have been unable to let it go. For a while, it seemed like every offseason someone would whisper that he was thinking about it, throwing again, something like that. Then came 2023, when Washington reportedly checked in with Luck's old circle about his interest. The story caught enough wind that the NFL actually opened a tampering inquiry. Colts then owner Jim Irsay didn't wait for the lawyers. He tweeted that Luck's rights still belonged to Indianapolis and told other teams to stay away. This only poured gasoline on the fire of the rumor that Luck could find his way back onto the gridiron with Indy. I mean, heck, they'd been in quarterback purgatory since he retired. After a quick review, the league found no wrongdoing, and more importantly, it became painfully obvious that there was no comeback a-coming. Luck was exactly where he'd said he'd be living, a quieter life, far away from blitz pickups and press conferences. And with that, he was extremely happy. Caleb Williams refusing to play for the Bears. The hype machine around Caleb Williams was built before he even declared. By late 2023, the USC star had become the most scrutinized quarterback prospect since Trevor Lawrence. And then came the chaos. Rumors started swirling that Williams might pull an Eli Manning, refusing to play for whichever team drafted him, especially if it was Chicago. His dad's comments about fit only fanned the flames. Combined with the Bears' long history of quarterback heartbreak and a few cryptic social media posts, and, well, I felt like the draft was about to turn into a power play. And for a few weeks, the rumor had legs. Talk shows ran with it, fans debated whether he'd go back to USC, but then, on draft night, it all evaporated. Williams went first overall to the Bears, smiled on stage, said the right things, and by mid-July, he had signed his rookie deal. No drama, no holdout, no headline-grabbing standoff. Tom Brady's comeback. Some stories refuse to die, mostly because, well, nobody wants him to. Over the past few years, every time a quarterback limped off a field or struggled to perform on it, the same whisper started making the rounds. Tom Brady is coming back. First, it started with the 49ers, who had a Super Bowl roster and hometown ties for Brady. Then it was, the Patriots? Yeah, that's right. Sentimental long shot, but who doesn't love a reunion theory? For a few weeks, the rumor just ran wild. A casual comment from Brady about never say never became headline gold. Talk shows built entire segments out of a story headed nowhere. The most interesting wrinkle of the rumor came when the Raiders had a hole under center while Brady was in business with ownership. Now, this got shot down. But once that business interest evolved and the NFL approved Brady's minority ownership stake in the Raiders that October, man, fans really went wild. The first player owner? Why not? Of course, between his Fox contract and league restrictions, any comeback window was slammed shut. Brady, for his part, laughed it off. He even told his friends that he was enjoying retirement, and maybe it'll actually stick this time. And, spoiler alert, at least for now, it did. Bill Belichick and the Falcons. When Bill Belichick and the Patriots officially parted ways in January of 2024, the NFL world assumed that he'd be coaching again within a mere days. After all, he was Bill freaking Belichick, the greatest head coach in league history. The man with 8 rings and a resume thicker than most coaches' playbooks. And you know, Atlanta looked like the perfect match. Talented roster, patient owner, desperate for credibility. By mid-January, insiders were already calling him the favorite. And then something happened that shocked NFL analysts and fans alike. The Falcons interviewed him twice, weighed their options, and ultimately went with Raheem Morris. Belichick was left without a headset for the first time in decades, leaving everyone to wonder what happened during their due diligence that prevented them from hiring the most decorated candidate possible. It was initially reported that Atlanta's brass wanted a collaborative culture and was worried about the fit. But as it turns out, it actually went way deeper than that. You see, at the same time, Belichick's public image had become its own storyline. His personal life, his new relationship, and the tabloid coverage that came with it suddenly made him more celebrity than strategist. Now, it wasn't that Belichick forgot how to coach or anything like that. It was that teams weren't really sure if they wanted the circus that was starting to follow him, or his reportedly highly involved younger girlfriend getting into the mix. And you know, based on what we've seen play out since he joined the college ranks with UNC, yeah, it feels like they made the right choice. CJ Gardner-Johnson hit on Malik Neighbors. When you hear NFL beef, you usually think like Twitter jabs or, you know, some level of disagreement on the field. Not crime drama headlines. But 2025 gave us something straight out of a bad action movie. A viral post claimed that Detroit Lions safety CJ Gardner-Johnson had arranged a hit on Giants rookie Malik Neighbors. Yeah, you read that right. The rumor came from a scrupulous mashup of screenshots, anonymous sources, and, well, just pure imagination. But you know, that didn't stop the rumor mill from running full speed ahead, and within hours, it was trending. Gardner-Johnson didn't wait for PR help. He jumped on social media and called the story what it was: fake. The cornerback did have a little fun mocking the absurdity of it all, but still, for a few wild days, fans debated whether something dark was a-brewing between these two players. It was the perfect storm of online confusion built on zero evidence. Just one viral accusation, a couple of edits, and a ton of people who wanted to believe something dramatic was happening. There was no feud, no plot, and definitely no hit. Just the internet doing what it does best, manufacturing entertainment for the masses. Aaron Rodgers' miracle comeback. If there's one thing Aaron Rodgers loves more than playing football, it's just proving people wrong. And also just going against the grain. This man is a contrarian in every sense of the word. So when he tore his Achilles 4 plays into his Jets debut, most figured it was over. Rodgers, well, he had other plans. Or at least he wanted you to think that he did. And he also wanted you to think that his plan had some sort of mystical element to it. You see, within weeks, he was hinting at a miracle recovery, posting cryptic videos, dropping lines about manifesting healing, and talking like a man who might rewrite medical science. The rumor mill just exploded. Could Rodgers really come back before Christmas? Or if the Jets could hold on to a playoff berth, maybe then? By December, the Jets activated him off of injury reserve, and social media just lost its mind. He's really doing it, they said. Except for, well, he wasn't. The activation was procedural. The team was out of contention, and head coach Robert Saleh flat out confirmed that there was no chance that he'd play. Rodgers himself admitted the rehab wasn't there yet. It was the perfect myth for a doomed season. And quite frankly, a doomed fan base is always desperate for hope. Rodgers never made it back onto the field, and his Jets' tenure left much to be desired. But hey, at least the crazy rumor that he was going to magically heal himself through God knows what experimental treatment gave Jets Nation something to believe in for just a little while. Travis Kelce's homeless shelter investment. While this one may come as a surprise, not all NFL rumors are actually negative. I know, hard to believe, but it's true. As you see, earlier this year, a story exploded across social media claiming that Kelce had bought a $3.3 million Kansas City home in order to turn it into a shelter for homeless youth. Fans celebrated. Charity started tagging him in thank you posts. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, the scope expanded disbanded. Yeah, next thing we know, according to everyone but Kelce, the Chiefs tight end donated his entire $12.9 million in bonuses and endorsements to various charity organizations. Wow, that's so generous. I can't believe it. Only problem is that, yeah, it never happened. Kelce eventually had to address the claim on his podcast and explain that the rumor was false. Turns out it was some sort of an AI-generated news post that just spiraled out of control. It was, for Kelce, a cool story, but it was just totally made up. But that's the internet for you. Sometimes it fabricates scandals, sometimes it fabricates good deeds. Mostly scandals, though. Very rarely is it good deeds. Either way, though, truth takes a backseat to virality. But you know, Kelce didn't seem too bothered. He joked that he wouldn't actually mind being known for something like that. But the whole ordeal proved one thing. Being a superstar in 2025 means fighting fake headlines, even the flattering ones. Larry Izzo, game ball rumor. Some NFL rumors are built on touchdowns. Others, on something else entirely. According to Wes Welker, longtime Patriots special teams ace Larry Izzo once earned a game ball for relieving himself on the sideline during a game, without anyone noticing. The story came out years later in an interview and immediately achieved meme immortality. It's gross, it's hilarious, and it's somehow believable when you remember just how much Bill Belichick values efficiency. Fans ate it up, reporters tried to confirm it, but no one could disprove it. And that is exactly why it lives forever in NFL folklore. What's actually true? Who knows? Probably more exaggerated than truth in this story, but hey, that's the beauty of the league's rumor culture. Some of the most unbelievable stories stick because they could have happened. And when it comes to Larry Izzo, the Patriots, and a perfectly executed number 2 cover-up, I mean, who's really gonna call it impossible? Matthew Stafford, clone conspiracy rumor. Every year, NFL Twitter finds a way to top itself. And in 2025, it hit a new peak when it found cloning as a topic to run with. The internet lit up with a bizarre claim. Matthew Stafford had died and been replaced with a lookalike. The theory started on social media with AI-doctored photos showing slight differences in Stafford's facial features and mannerisms. And within mere hours, it jumped from Reddit threads to TikTok breakdowns to national sports radio. Kelly Stafford, his wife, had enough. She addressed the madness head-on, calling the rumors insane and telling fans her husband was alive, healthy, and still very much the Rams quarterback. This wasn't like a trade rumor. Heck, it wasn't even football. It was a crazy sci-fi sports mashup, and a snapshot of just how fast the sports internet can turn from fandom into fiction. Sometimes you don't need deep fakes or insider scoops. You just need one weird, outlandish theory, a few blurry pictures, and enough people bored during the offseason, and, well, you get one of the more absurd rumors to come out of the NFL rumor mill. But hey, which untrue NFL rumor do you think was the craziest? Were there any of these that you actually believed at the time? Were there any crazy rumors that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.